Welcome to A Mason's Work, the podcast where we review Masonic symbols and illustrate how they can be used to solve problems in everyday life. With your host, Brian Mattox, a proud member of the Craftsman Online Media Network.
The relational interplay of the Rough Ashlar is very, very interesting when you start to sit down and think about it. There is a lot going on when people give you feedback, or when you solicit feedback, or when you interact in the world, that it's really difficult to put names and causes and origin stories behind all of the things that are happening. And if you're trying to create meaning in this world and understand what's happening, you need to begin to develop a relational understanding with how your behavior might be perceived, and that could be creating outcomes and et cetera, et cetera. Then you get into the 7 liberal arts, and you talk about communication strategies and skills and all that stuff. But for now, as the Rough Ashlar, you want to be mindful of things like feedback. Those feedback loops, first and foremost, as we talked about in the previous episode, can be done on your own. It can also be done with other people. You can ask for feedback on how you might handle a situation differently. You can get that kind of reciprocal relationship out of your lodge experience, or out of your church, or out of your synagogue or temple, or what have you. You should be able to start to use other people that you trust and that you like to help you gain valuable insight into the areas where you can possibly grow. When you are out soliciting feedback from others, there are good ways to go about that, and there are bad ones. The first good way to do it is to ask about a specific situation. And the questions that you're going to want to ask, like a good diagnostician, are questions like, how might I have approached this situation differently? Now, the important thing to note is you do not want to ask, do you like how I did this? Or do you like how I did that? Or did you not like it? Yes or no questions are almost always, from a social kind of relationship perspective, met with responses that are less than useful. Where you're looking for logic and a rational understanding of a situation, if you're honestly pursuing self-development, you will get a social capital-based response or an emotional response where folks are maybe reluctant to give you honest and genuine feedback. In corporate environments, we do things called like 360-degree feedback, where someone will go out and ask on your behalf for a bunch of people's perspectives on how you interact in situations. You want to build your own team of folks who will tell you, what's going on and where your opportunities for development are. That's not to, again, put the peril of your development, but to allow you to start collecting meaningful data to figure out what those situations are. And in the same place, that relational component of the Rough Ashlar, this is also the origin story of compassion. So when you see other people, when you interact with other people and they do stuff that inconveniences you, or you don't like, or makes you angry, drives you crazy, whatever, understand that they are all themselves in their Rough Ashlar phase, kind of perpetually. This is a thing that happens. This is a thing that every one of us is experiencing at all times, right? You are on your way from one place to another. And so when we find someone whose behavior really drives us crazy, again, look inward first to find out if there's opportunities there to grow, and then look outward with compassion and care and say, listen, they're working on their stuff. They're still figuring their biz out, and that's okay. As you go through this, you'll begin to start to understand that we are all in that Rough Ashlar phase, and that all of our behaviors and all of the things we're doing are best guess, best efforts, given the constraints of a system that you can't see most of. So as you move forward with this, again, particularly if you involve others in the process, be mindful of what that looks like and how it works. and try and approach it with compassion for yourself and with others.
The views represented in this podcast are those of the speaker alone and are not representative of any grand or subordinate lodge.
Hi, Brian here. I wanted to thank you so much for listening to this episode. If you have any suggestions or guidance for further episodes you'd like to see or hear, whatever the case may be, please don't hesitate to reach out to me at amasonswork.com, and we will try and incorporate your suggestions into a future recording. Thanks.
Freemasonry teaches us that the true work is within, a lifelong journey of reflection, discipline, and discovery. At A Mason's Work, we help Masons bring out their best selves through meaningful self-inquiry and symbolic practice. From personal reflection to lodge engagement, we offer tools that turn symbols into action. Visit us at amasonswork.com. The work is within. The time is now.